I'm sure. Can you hear me? Okay, I can hear myself. I'm sure the statute of limitations is up on this event, which occurred not around here at all, but in New Hampshire, in Bretton Woods, New Hampshire, at the Mount Washington Hotel. The most prestigious hotel that you could possibly imagine is this giant, huge thing. It has hundreds of rooms in it, and a whole like servants' quarters attached to it. And I worked there for a while, a summer, in fact, at this corrupt institution. And I was a cocktail waiter there, and the banquet manager would steal our tips. And so we rigged the cigarette vending machine to give us free cigarettes. I really learned how to chain smoke cigarettes there. I could smoke four packs of cigarettes a day at that point. I was a professional waiter. Wow, the sound is so, it changes.
You got this.
So, we had all sorts of conferences come through this place. It was very exciting. These conferences would show up, and we as the wait staff would have to deal with them. They were terrible, some of them were awful. Like the Bain conference was awful, this conference where like these people would just show up, they took over the whole hotel and we had to like wait on them. They threw waiters in the pool. I'm not kidding. We partied with them. It was kind of fun, but it was also kind of like this hellish weekend. It was really crazy. But the story that I'm going to tell is the police detective convention that showed up. They have conventions for police detectives. I didn't know if you knew this. I didn't know this until they showed up. And they showed up with this giant stuffed moose. And they brought it into the banquet hall and they put it there. It's going to be there. It's their mascot. This giant 6 foot tall stuffed moose. And like me and the other waiters were looking at this thing, and it was in the banquet hall, and there was all these police detectives everywhere. And then we waited on them, we got them their food, and the first day of the conference went great. And then the next day, that night we went home to our wait staff rooms, which were these tiny little awful, like cupboard-like places that we were supposed to sleep in and do nothing else. And we plotted and we got drunk. And we thought about that moose in the banquet hall. And so a group of us walked down the stairs of this like rickety old employee dorms, basically servants' quarters attached to the back of this hotel. And we went through into the kitchen, into the back hallways of the thing, and we grabbed the moose and we took it. And we pulled this moose. It was really large, so it was like over my head and fully stuffed, like this giant thing. It had a wooden frame inside of it. And we had to pull this thing down the hallway, through these narrow corridors, out the back of the hotel, and we eventually got it to the girls' dorm, where we shoved it into a closet. And then we got really drunk. It was great. I smoked a lot of cigarettes, of course. So the next day we wake up and we walked into the employee area and like we were eating lunch, and there was all this chaos going on. People were upset, and there was all these strange characters walking around. They were like investigating. They were looking in places, and the manager brought us into the thing, and they were like, "So the moose was stolen from the police detectives convention." And I'm like, oh, that's very interesting. We wouldn't know what would happen with the moose. Like, how would they steal the moose? Because it was very difficult to imagine getting the moose out not by the front desk, because the only exit was through the front desk or through the banquet areas, which had all these curvy tunnels leading to the back deck, and like nobody could understand how the moose got out. And there's all these like confused-looking fat police detectives wandering around, like, "Oh, where's the moose? It's the moose. No." And they were getting drunk, of course, It was really satisfying. So after the police detective convention left, we chopped off the head of the moose and it became the mascot of the girls' dorm. And that's my story.